Witness you will testify about. Oh, great and blessed Scaled Lord! To think you would grace us with your presence. Oh my god. Forgive me, Lord Rathalon, I spoke out of turn. How many times do I have to tell you people that I'm not a god? Yes, I revere and serve the god of dragons, but I am not Bahamut's avatar. But you're the Scaled Lord! I'm just a dragon, I'm not even a powerful one. I'm not a deity. This humility. That's exactly what Bahamut's avatar would say. I swear to God. He even swears by the god's name. Lucio, please handle this. Perhaps another approach is warranted. High Speaker Arceus, the great and powerful Rathalon calls upon you today. We require your... You require my blood? Of course, I will gladly give my life for the Scaled Lord. What? No! Of course, my blood could never be enough. Would you just let me? I will do as you wish, my lord. It might take some time, though. I'll need some time to gather some followers, and... Oh my god, we just want your testimony. Just tell us what you saw when Miss Steelwind was at the westward balcony yesterday. I see. If that's what you truly wish, my lord. Are we just going to ignore how ready he was to commit mass murder? Be quiet, we just got him to calm down. Well then. I was doing some paperwork in my quarters, and I suppose I lost track of the time. My alarm went off and I realised it was time for my afternoon prayers. I began heading to the prayer room when I spotted Lady Steelwind looking over the westward balcony. I tried to greet her, but she didn't respond to me. That's when I noticed she was pushing something large over the balcony and into a Lake Galacrond. I asked her what she was doing, but again she ignored me and went towards the prayer room. I thought nothing of it and made my way there as well. That's when the guards there turned me away. I went back to my quarters to do my prayers there. Considering the timing of it all, this must have happened minutes before she began attacking the prayer room. Yes, I consider myself lucky. The Scaled Lord must have graced me with divine luck. Please, just stop. The timing, eh? When did this alarm go off, then? An alarm? It's a rudimentary artificery device. I use it to remind me to conduct daily prayers. I see. And do you have it set off... do you have it set to go off at a different time? Yes, it's set to go off at 2:10 PM, 5 minutes before my afternoon prayers. What was her expression like? It was very cold and emotionless. The patron must have had control of her when this happened. Yes, that certainly makes the most sense. Right. What time did this happen? It was shortly after my alarm went off, so definitely before 2:15. So before 2:15, our encounter was short. She was pushing something large over the balcony into Lake Galacrond. And that must have been Sybil's body. I suppose so. You don't sound so sure of it yourself. It's just that I recall Lady Sybil's garb to be much brighter. Meanwhile, the thing that I saw Lady Steelwind throw over the balcony was much darker. Right, you mentioned that before. It's clear it was just a trick of the sunlight. The balcony is directly above where we found Lady Sybil's body in Lake Galacrond. You obviously saw the defendant dumping the body. What else could it have been? Yes, I suppose you're right. She ignored me and went towards the prayer room. The patron was probably trying to keep her on track. But I'm surprised she didn't attack you. Even if the Patron was trying to frame her, she hadn't killed Pierce yet. Yes, I'm a little confused about that myself. But perhaps I should just be happy I came out of that encounter unharmed. How long did you talk to her? Our encounter was very brief, since she was ignoring me. It couldn't have lasted for more than 2 minutes. Thought nothing of it and made my way there as well. Right, and these guards are still comatose. What time did this happen? I believe it was 2:15. That's when I usually arrive at the prayer room. I went back to my quarters to do my prayers there. You're in your quarters during the massacre? Yes, as I've mentioned before, my room is magically soundproof. My guards and I were woefully unaware of what was happening. We didn't know what was happening until some members of the King's Guard came to inform me of what had happened to the King. How long were you in your quarters for? I waited there till the King's Guard notified me that it was safe. I think I waited there until 3:15 p.m. Well, he sure does. What was this time of death? 2:18 p.m. Uh-huh.
Objection!
Wait, what? Is something wrong? There is, but I'm not really sure what it means. Stop stammering and say what you want to say! Hi, Speaker. You said that you saw Arya dumping something over the ledge of the balcony. There's no need to be vague, Cuthbert. It's clear from the evidence that he saw my daughter dumping Lady Sybil's body. That's the thing, Lord Steelwind. It couldn't have been Sybil's body. What are you talking about? The location from that balcony to where we found Lady Sybil's body lines up perfectly. That may be, but the witness just said he saw Arya dumping the body before 2:15 p.m. Wait. You see it too, don't you, Lucia? How did Arya dump Coraline Sybil's body into Lake Galacron before 2:15 p.m. if her time of death was 2:18 p.m? I see. That does seem peculiar. But we know the defendant threw Sybil's body from that balcony. There would be no other explanation for how it ended up there. Yeah, that's also true. Perhaps she was still alive when Arya threw her off the balcony. She could have been knocked unconscious with a sleep spell. Your Grace, there were no traces of conjuration magic on her body. And even if she was asleep, she wouldn't have survived a fall from that height. The distance from that balcony to the lake is more than 30 stories. Yeah, you're not surviving that, even if you hit the water. And the autopsy report says the cause of death was suffocation, not blunt force. Right. She must have died after she hit the water. But Mr. Cuthbert, Lucio just said that she would have died upon impact. That's assuming she didn't do anything to lessen the blow. She might have had the opportunity to cast a spell to protect herself. That might explain why her body isn't as damaged, despite falling from such a great height.
Objection!
Again, this doesn't match with the evidence. Lady Sybil's spell compendium contains the spell Slow Fall. If she had the opportunity to cast a spell, she would have used that spell to slow her descent. And she wouldn't have taken any damage from hitting the lake if she had done that. That's a really good point. But just indulge me for a second. She must have cast stone skin on herself. Didn't even need to even think about that one. Stone skin. If you recall, the High Speaker mentioned that something was strange about the object Arya threw off the balcony. It was much darker and didn't match with Sybil's usual garb. Almost as if there were something else Sybil was wearing. That object was actually Lady Sybil protected by a layer of stone. That still doesn't explain why she would cast that instead of Slow Fall. She cast stone skin on herself before she was thrown into the lake. Arya must have attacked her, and she cast that spell in response. That would protect her from the steel wind strike. But that doesn't quite seem right. What do you mean? I may not have seen much, but I saw the object that Arya dumped was stiff and motionless. If it had been Lady Sybil, she would have been struggling against her, wouldn't she? That's a good point too. The High Speaker saw Arya dumping a motionless Sybil, but if we assume my logic is correct, she'd have also still been alive. So why wasn't she struggling against Arya? I mean, this looks pretty good already. Where is this spell? This one. It was Hold Creature. Sybil must have cast stone skin on herself when Arya attacked her. The patron must have known that Arya couldn't physically damage her like that. So they ordered her to restrain Sybil with that spell. And Sybil died by suffocation. That's right, Lucia. Even if she was restrained, Sybil was still protected by stone skin. That would have left only one option for the patron. Sybil suffocated when Arya threw her into Lake Galakrond. Her stone skin lessened the impact of the fall, but it also made her drop like a literal rock. Arya's Hold Creature spell prevented her from moving or releasing her spell. She was helpless as she sank to the bottom of the lake. I believe that covers all three of the murders, then. Yes. Lord Von Sanctus suffocated to death in his own force cage. Lady Sybil drowned after Arya cast Hold Creature on her. And Lord Pierce died after being wounded by a blade created with shape liquid. The only common thread I see is that the patron used some of the victims' magics against them. Anyway, whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of each of the spells they used to defend themselves. They knew that Von Sanctus couldn't dispel his own force cage. They also knew that he still needed oxygen from within. And in Sybil's case, they knew Arya couldn't physically harm her once she had stone skin active. They also knew that Hold Creature would prevent Sybil from dispelling her own stone skin. Not only that, they did all of this in a quick time frame. Von Sanctus and Sybil died within 13 minutes of each other. If Arya hadn't encountered Celeste, Pierce might have died just as quickly. So whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of high-level magic. Not only that, they came up with creative ways to bypass the defences put up by Von Sanctus and Sybil. Yes, they had the ability to react quickly and decisively. But considering the circumstances, that hardly narrows it down. Several members of the Four Pillar families were present that day. Each and every one of them studied at the Imperial Academy. They would all be knowledgeable in magic and its applications. There's another angle to this. Consider who the patron did and didn't target. The victims were Lloyd von Sanctus, Coraline Sybil, and Garrick Pierce. What's the similarity we can draw between at least two of them? Von Sanctus and Sybil were the heads of their respective noble houses. Are you saying the patron's goal was to assassinate leaders of the Four Pillars? That's the motive that makes the most sense. But that does leave one question. Don't to be coy, I'm not daft, Cuthbert. Actually, I highly doubt it was you. Really now? And of most of the people there, you could have easily tricked your daughter into signing a blood contract. But why would you need to do that? You're the Grand General of Wyvernguard's military, and the cathedral was filled with your men. You could have easily equipped one of your best mages to carry out this massacre. And you wouldn't even need to make a deal with a demon to do it. So, why wasn't Lucio targeted then? From her encounter with the Celeste, it's clear there's a limit to Arya's combat capabilities. Patron might have simply doubted Arya's ability to defeat the Grand General. But there's also another explanation. Patron wanted people to suspect House Steelwind for the murders. They used Lucio Steelwind's daughter to commit the crime, then they intentionally left him alive to cast suspicion on him. That's why they used my daughter! That leads me to my next point. Imagine if we never discovered Arya's blood contract with the Empress of Discord. What would have happened? We'd still think that Miss Steelwind succumbed to Mage Blight. She would have been convicted for the murders, and trust in House Steelwind would be forever diminished. About a month ago, House Frigga lost its head, and his successor, Laffy Frigga, was woefully unprepared to take his place. Now, the heads of House von Sanctus and House Sybil are dead, with House Steelwind being held responsible for it all. All four of the Pillar families would have been weakened as a result of the massacre. But I think there's another layer to this. Everything fits together if we assume that the Patron's goal was to weaken the Pillar families. Except for the murder of Garrick Pierce. Yes. In contrast to Sybil and von Sanctus, Pierce's political power pales in comparison. Nice alliteration. Furthermore, Pierce was already scheduled to be executed next month for the murder of Flynn Hart McCoy. Why would the Patron go to the trouble of murdering a condemned man? Patron murdered Pierce because they needed him to die as quickly as possible. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's biological parents. My parents? Do you remember what Pierce said when we showed up for the meeting? You finally arrived. I suppose this means you finally decided... Wait, you two? We got your letter. Letter? What letter? You sent us a letter, Pierce. It said that you knew who Celeste's parents were. I did send that letter, but not to you two. We weren't the intended recipients of that letter. That's right. So that leaves one last question. There's only one person Pierce could have sent that letter to. The person who orchestrated the massacre in the first place. The Patron. But that means... the Patron is someone who would be threatened by Celeste's parentage. Order! Order in the court! But I don't understand. I'm sorry, I know this is a lot to take in, but I think they were targeting you for some reason. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's parents and attempted to blackmail the Patron with this. Instead of complying with Pierce's demands, the Patron instead sent the letter to me. But why go to the trouble of luring you there? They could have just allowed Pierce to wait in the prayer room while the defendant made her way to murder him. Looking back on it, it's possible they wanted to kill Celeste too. What? They knew I wouldn't meet with Pierce alone, and the information he had was about her. The Patron correctly guessed that I'd bring her with me. By killing both Pierce and Celeste, they'd eliminate any threat Celeste would pose to them. Not the direction I thought this was going in, but okay. But who would be threatened by such information? The mere existence of McCoy posed a threat to them. It must have something to do with her birthright. Right. So who would that leave? King de Wyvengard just recently died. What if Celeste was a member of the royal family? You think I'm a princess? I don't want to suspect Asta, but we need to consider every possibility. And when it comes to conflicts of inheritance, a royal line of succession is the first thing that comes to mind. Not only that, the king would have the authority to pardon Pierce for his crimes. But that wouldn't entirely make sense. What do you mean? If McCoy was abandoned at a tavern in Cornhaven, we must assume she's a bastard child. Okay, I don't know why you have to bring that up. My point is that King Olivier wouldn't abandon a child of pure royal blood. The kingdom requires heirs to continue the royal bloodline. He would have leveraged her in a diplomatic marriage. That's disgusting. That's diplomacy, Cuthbert. Anyway, even if McCoy was of royal blood, Asta is the king's eldest child. And he's a pure royal blood. McCoy would have no claim to the throne under these circumstances. Right, I see what you mean. I suppose that eliminates Asta for now. You should consider the other suspects first. Who would that leave? Well, I mean, the one that I think is most likely, even including that one, I had to say it. As much as I have doubts, House Steelwind is the only Pillar family whose house leader survived the past month. You think I'm McCoy's biological father? Ugh, you're barely a father to your actual daughter. I'm only stating the possibility for the sake of argument. As I've said, it wouldn't make sense for you to frame your own daughter when House Steelwind would be blamed. But we need to consider every possibility. No, then. Recall during Beatrice Friega's trial, we heard William Friega's last will and testament. He mentioned that House Friega's assets would be divided evenly between all of his children. If McCoy were to be revealed as a Friega, his daughters would only be legally obligated to share the estate with her. Could I seriously be a Friega? I don't want to suspect Laffy or Miriam, but we need to consider every possibility. And as we've seen, the Friegas are no strangers to making deals with demons. But it still doesn't quite fit. I doubt Laffy or Miriam would do something like this. What are you basing that on? I tend to be a good judge of character, and they just don't seem like the type to do something like this. Bah! You're far too trusting. I hold no doubt that any of William's children would be capable of something like this. I suppose we'll have to see. Well, this is kind of coming out of left field. Pretty much the only reason I would have to think this is something we didn't actually see, because it happened at the very end of Case 4 when we weren't there. So it's only information that the player has access to, and not Tyrion. But hey, What if the Eye Taker orchestrated this whole thing? The Eye Taker, that common criminal. What reason would he have to do this? I've heard firsthand that he was planning to expand his influence throughout Wyvengard. He was actually plotting with Beatrice to use House Frigga to do so. Since I ruined his original plan, setting up that massacre might have been his backup plan. Perhaps we're looking at this all wrong. What if Celeste was a part of the royal family and they were planning to use her to take the throne? But if he wanted to do so, why would he put McCoy in danger by having my daughter attack her? Not only that, he also had the perfect opportunity to murder His Majesty. Imagine if he had placed a more lethal contingent spell in that glyph of contingency. His Majesty might have very well died alongside of House von Sanctus Sybil Antius. Yeah, I suppose you're right. But we need to consider every possibility, which we now have. And I can't think of anyone else. Yes, there's a flaw with each suspect. Your logic is clearly flawed. There's something here I'm not seeing. But I know I'm close. There's a missing piece that ties this all together. Regardless, we still have no idea who this Empress of Discord is. I am loath to allow such an individual to walk freely through Wyvengard. Your Grace, you've been alive since the creation of Wyvengard and magic. Do you know who this demon is? I can't say I do. Demons tend to take on many titles over their lifetimes, but whoever this Empress is, they are brave to do so blatantly encroach on my domain like this. Well, I suppose we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. We've obtained a lot of information today, but we clearly have many questions that need to be answered. How should we proceed? Ugh. What is it, Mr. Cuthbert? I can't help but feel there's something here I'm not seeing. I just can't put my finger on it. We have been working at this for quite a while. Perhaps we should suspend proceedings so we can look into these new leads. I have no objections. It'll give my men some time to look into what we've discovered today. Nothing. Then it's settled. We'll be postponing proceedings for now. But you'll all be expected to return here by tomorrow morning. You're all free to return to your homes for the time being. But make no mistake, the King's Guard will be keeping careful watch over all of you. Hey, Tyrion? Tyrion? Tyrion! Sorry. I was just thinking about everything. You're looking really stressed out. Do you want to head back to your house to rest? No, we only have a day till the trial resumes. We can't figure out what happened after tomorrow and the magical traces will dissipate. But you already know what happened, you just don't know who did it. Yeah. But we should speak with the suspects again. Maybe if I get lucky I'll see something through the Eye of Horus. But one of the suspects is the Eye Taker. What are you going to do about him? I suppose I'll have to speak with him too. What? No? What if he tries to kill you again? Arya's life is on the line. It's just a risk I'll have to take. Tyrion, do you even understand what you've been pulled into? What? Someone just murdered a bunch of nobles, and they even attacked members of the royal family. Now there are ancient dragons and demon lords involved too. Isn't this above your pay grade? Ouch. You know that's not what I meant. It's just this whole thing is crazy, isn't it? It's fine, it's just like any other of our investigations. It's not, though. What if the Empress of Discord attacks you? What if the Patron decides you're getting too close to the truth? What if I can't... Celeste? Are you still worried about what happened during the massacre? I'm fine, I already told you, you didn't do anything wrong. You almost died, Tyrion. I know. Tyrion, you almost died. I know, Celeste. No, Tyrion, I don't think you do. Do you have any idea how worried I was when she broke past me? When I saw you all lying on the floor, so many things were going through my mind. I don't know what I would have done if you were... Celeste, I'm sorry, I didn't think... Don't apologise, just please... Please just leave this to Lucio and the Scaled Lord. You've done enough already. I can figure the rest of it out. And what if it's not enough? I'm not so arrogant that I think they can't do it without me. But what if they can't figure out who the Patron is? Arya will spend the rest of her life in prison. What if I could have done something to prevent that? I don't care if that happens. Celeste. I don't care, Tyrion. I'll apologise to her all you want after this. But all I want is to keep you safe. And I don't know if I'm able to do that anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm really happy you're a part of my life. What? I know what you're saying is coming from a place of care, and I'm really sorry about how much I've been worrying you lately, but you're not going to stop, are you? It's like I've always said. Man, king, or god, nothing will stop you from getting justice for your clients. I'm gonna talk to Lucia. What? If we're gonna meet the Eye Taker again, we're bringing some knights with us. Celeste, that's hardly... Nope, you don't get a say in this. And if you're not here when I get back, I will find you. Fine, just go. Alright, Lucio's cleared it. It was surprisingly easy to convince him. That took about 20 seconds, so yeah. You okay? I am fine. Let's not waste any more time. Hey, don't walk so far ahead! Wow. The city looks very impressive from this angle. Probably sensible, though. All things considered. Sir, where will we be heading first? What's wrong? There's definitely something I'm fundamentally missing, but what? Just don't push yourself too hard, okay? Yeah, I'll try and pace myself. Anyway, we should speak with each of the suspects and confirm their alibis. That might help me finally put things together. Each of the nobles has returned to their respective homes, but our teleportation network should help you travel around Wyvengard. This nagging feeling won't go away. It's really annoying. It's like when you know a word to describe something, but you can't remember what it actually is. Don't push yourself too hard, okay? If you feel tired, don't be embarrassed to take a break. Yeah, I'll try not to exert myself too much. Where do you think we should go next? I'm not sure. Is everything okay? Yeah, I guess I'm just a little overwhelmed by everything that's happened. Sir, I've spoken with the groundskeeper. His Majesty and the Grand General are currently visiting Lady Steelwind. But supposedly they'll be here later today to talk to the High Speaker. Alright, I suppose we just have to come back later. I doubt there's anything different to look at there. Hey, I didn't actually look around this area. Let's do that. It's one of the many offices of Von Sanctus Industries. With the death of Lloyd, I'm sure his business will be thrown into chaos for a while. There's a great view of the city from this ledge. I frequently go there whenever I need to think something over. I can see why. I can see several commoner houses from here. If I squint really hard, I can probably see my house from here. It's the city courthouse. Every trial I've been a part of has been held in this building. Until now. Excluding the current trial, obviously. As I say, until now. It's a shop selling various wares. The items they sell are more suited for adventurers, so I've never really gone there myself.
Repario Arcanum!
Well, there probably are bits of magic here and there throughout this place, but we're too far away to see any of them. Off, 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 off. Thrilling conversation. Oh, hello friends. Sorry for Borks. Tracker thought he smelled something bad. Oh, Mr. Cuthbert. Sorry for barging in, Laffy. No, it's no problem at all. I'll skip the pleasantries. Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Of course. I'll do anything to help with Lady Steelwind's situation. Should I leave? No, you were there with me when everything happened. And your testimony will substantiate my alibi. It's a bookshelf. Same books as before. Some of the books are actually real this time. Amazing. It's a window with a view of the outside. It's various books about economics and political theory. It looks like they haven't been disturbed since Beatrice's trial. I've been meaning to put those away, but I still feel uneasy about disturbing my father's books. It's a painting of a man with a dog. That's David Ding from House Ding. They're one of the branch families of House Rieger. He was a dog breeder with a bit of an obsession with the dogs he owned. As someone with a canine familiar, I feel a sort of kinship with him. Tracker-like fellow dog. He looks like the loyal type. It's a fireplace, probably used to keep the study warm during winter.
Repario Arcanum!
And I think that's everything to see. Apart from a desk. It's a desk. I'm still getting used to it. This chair always felt too big for me. Luffy, I'm sure you know why I'm here, but I just want to preface this by saying that I highly doubt you were behind this. No, I perfectly understand. Frankly, I'm also at a loss. I have no idea who did this. What are you talking about? It was clearly that criminal, the Eye Taker. Why don't you go interrogate him? Make no mistake, we fully intend to. But I'd like to cover everyone else before I confront him. Let him be, Miriam. But it's his fault that Beatrice's... Our sister knew what she was doing when she gave her testimony. Don't insult her bravery by blaming Mr. Cuthbert for what happened. What? Anyways, Mr. Cuthbert has shown many times that he's acting in good faith. And he's capable of convicting the criminals that even we can't see. You mentioned Beatrice before. Did something happen? It happened right after she gave her testimony this morning. She fell unconscious shortly after she left the Scaled Lord's lair. She hasn't woken up since then, and Muranath has gone missing. What? It must have been the Empress of Discord. After you manifested Lady Stillwin's blood contract, we all realised why she was acting so strangely. Right, if it weren't for her, I would never have considered trying to show the Divine Edict. She sacrificed herself to save Lady Steelwind. It seems our esteemed sister put her trust in you, commoner. So we will do the same. If there's anything we can do to help you, please ask. I appreciate your trust, all of you. But I have to ask, where were you all between 2 and 3 that day? Luckily, we were all together. Me, Laffy, Miriam, Beatrice, and her friend were all in the garden before 2. But around 2 PM, my sister and Miss Ilmater both went missing. I can't believe we trusted her to take care of our sister. Hush now, Miriam. If the Empress of Discord took control of her, there was hardly anything Miss Ilmater could do to stop it. I really do hope she's okay. She's been missing since the massacre. You mentioned that you all went to search for her. Did you see anything? No. We were originally planning to search the cathedral grounds, but when we arrived at the nave, we found Asta trapped in a force cage. Did any of you lose track of each other during that time? No, we stayed together for the entire time. But we did consider splitting up to cover more ground. But the King's Guard found us and asked us to stay where we were. Right, I suppose that makes sense. And did you see Eris at all when this happened? No, we never saw her. "205. She went missing at the same time that Beatrice did. That's really suspicious. You don't think... It's definitely possible she was involved in this somehow. Highly likely, I would say. Not to mention the Eye-Taker is one of our suspects, and she's his daughter. She's his what? You didn't know? And I thought that Beatrice would have told you. No, she didn't mention that at all. I suppose I'll stop prevaricating around the bush. Have any of you made a blood contract with a demon lately? How dare you! No, I understand where he's coming from. Of everyone present, our sister was the only person with known ties to a demon. If she were to share that secret with anyone, it would have been with us. Nevertheless, we still have no idea who the patron is. I was actually meaning to ask you during the trial. Can't you just use this divine edict of yours to figure out who the patron is? No, to manifest a blood contract, I need the title of the demon and the name of the human they made that contract with. I understand that, but why not just apply brute force? Huh? Due to the King's funeral, the King's Guard has a detailed list of everyone who was present during the massacre. Whoever this patron is, they were working together with the Empress of Discord. That must mean they made a blood contract with her, yes? That's right. I could just keep issuing divine edicts till a blood contract appears. Well, wait, is that safe? There's only one way to find out. Fight! No. Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide, release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with Asta de Wyvengard. Ugh! Tyrion? What's wrong? What? What's happening to him? Lazarick, use your magic to heal him. Right. Oh, you silly, silly boy. You may be half human, but you can't just go around declaring lies like that. What? I was really looking forward to bringing you to the end of this. I haven't even started to have my fun yet. Who are you? Actually, I suppose that contract is still in effect. I guess my hands are tied. I'll save you just this once. Tyrion, please, wake up! Celeste? You're okay. I guess that was a foolish idea. Are you okay, friend? Yeah? What happened? You died? But what? I've never brought anyone back from something like that. That was my strongest spell, too. You've no idea how lucky you are. If I wasn't here, who knows what might have happened. I don't understand. The last thing I remember was issuing my divine edict. Wait. Was that the cause? But I've done it before without any problems. I just used it this morning. It might be because Asta doesn't have a blood contract with the Empress. If demons are unable to lie, the same might hold true for angels as well. A divine edict is clearly some sort of divine magic, so asking for a blood contract that doesn't exist might be considered a lie. Sorry, it's my fault for suggesting it. No, I was being reckless. Please be more careful. I don't think my heart can take this. Well, at least we know Asta wasn't behind this. He was the most obvious one. Obviously. You say that, but now it's in evidence. It's probably going to come up at some point. Ugh. Anyway, it's clear that I can't just issue these edicts without thinking. I'll just have to wait until I'm certain of the patron's identity. Just please be careful. Well, thanks for the resurrection, I suppose. Oh, Mr. Cuthbert. How was your investigation? Are you okay? You look quite pale. Yeah, there was a bit of an accident earlier. Well, try to exude more caution next time. I'd be dishonourable if you didn't fall by my hand. Why is everything you say so aggressive? Why are you looking at me like that, Cuthbert? Oh, sorry. I'm not going to attack you again. I hope you can understand my uneasiness. You did almost kill me the first time we met. What? That's not... It's because you're a Heavensborn. What? What does me being a Heavensborn have to do with this? It's difficult to explain to someone like you. But warriors such as I must hone and develop our senses to survive in battle. Eventually we develop the ability to sense hidden enemies and anticipate danger. I'd heard that such senses are heightened when in the presence of extraplanar entities. Until I met you and Beatrice Friega's familiar, I thought these stories were complete nonsense. Me and Moranath? As a Heavensborn, your blood is said to originate from the heavens. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I believe in the existence of other planes, but I admit that I still feel a certain aura from you that doesn't feel quite human. So that's why you attacked me. I was exuding a threatening aura? It was actually the opposite. Your aura was too calming and benign. I thought that it must be some kind of trick or illusion. I see. That's quite an astounding ability. What about you, McCoy? What? Did you not sense a similar aura when you first met him? Is that true? Well... Wow, there's a really fancy carriage outside. I wonder who it belongs to. Oh, there's someone inside the inn, too. Is that guy visiting my dad? Oh, wow, he's kinda cute. Yeah. It was kind of similar. Aster, I'm sure you know why I'm here. It's because I'm one of your suspects, isn't it? Your Majesty, you are the reigning King of Wyverngard. I expect you to conduct yourself with more dignity. Of course, my apologies, Lord Steelwind. Anyway, questioning you is honestly a formality at this point. Really? A lot of the evidence works in your favour. Well, I appreciate your vote of confidence, nonetheless. It's a stained glass window. A small ray of sunlight is shining through it. Rows upon rows of seats for worshippers to sit at. At full capacity, this room could probably host thousands of people at a time. This dialogue is all much the same as it was before. There's an altar at the end of the room. Yeah, I don't think we have anything
Arcane!
different in here. Lucio, have you made any headway into figuring out who set that trap for Aster? No, I haven't. It makes me uneasy that you let someone get that close to my father's body. Yes, I can't begin to apologise for my men's incompetence. If they were more vigilant, perhaps we could have avoided this whole tragedy entirely. So your men were guarding the late King's coffin. Yes, there wasn't a single moment when his body was left unguarded. We found traces of illusion magic at the scene of the Force Cage. Though we're still not sure about who could have set that trap. There are also members of the King's Guard that can cast both Force Cage and Glyph of Contingency, and many of them fell comatose during the massacre. So we don't even know if one of them betrayed us. Do you think my men are that weak, Your Majesty? I think anyone can be made weak when put through enough stress. Huh. Regardless, we have no way of telling who may have been guarding the coffin when the trap was set. This means that we have no way of telling when that Glyph of Contingency was set. I was actually meaning to ask about that. Couldn't we wait for the 48 hours to elapse? If we make a note of the exact time the traces of evocation disappear, we can work backwards to discern the exact time the trap was set. Well, normally we could. When the spell activated, I unfortunately panicked and cast a firebolt to try and destroy it. Of course, it didn't even put a dent in the Force Cage. Because of that, he left traces of evocation at the exact location of the Glyph of Contingency. How terribly inconvenient. We can't discern which traces were left by the Patron's Glyph of Contingency or His Majesty's Firebolt. I'm terribly sorry about that. Well, it was almost a good idea. I heard you two visited Daria earlier today. How is she doing? I think she's doing the best she can, all things considered. No thanks to you. What? She's only in this situation because of you. Lucio, that's not... Me? You're the one who's heartlessly prosecuting her. She's far too weak for this. If that's what you truly think of her, you're grossly misunderstanding the kind of person that she is. She defied the role you tried to force onto her, and she instead dedicated herself to fixing our broken kingdom. Ever since this started, all you've done is insult her. But you know nothing about her, and she's far stronger than you realise. Despite her lineage, she's always carved her own path and pursued her own justice. Her own path? She only became a prosecutor because of His Majesty. What are you talking about? She became a prosecutor to fix our corrupt justice system from the inside. And who do you think put those ideas into her mind? If she wanted to fix our justice system, she could have easily done so by slowly weakening House Sybil's influence. But she knew about your strange idolation of Ruby Tamora, and she knew how closely you followed each and every one of her cases. I know why she became a prosecutor. She thought that if she became like your idol and defeated her, you might finally notice her. You're wrong, Lucio. Arya Steelwind would never care about me that much. Are you seriously that dense? When you were still engaged to Lady Frigga, you flaunted your relationship in front of my daughter with no regard for her feelings. I remember each and every time I heard her silently crying in her quarters because of how oblivious you are. She's changed every part of herself in order to please you. Sure sounds like it. I had no idea. My daughter is far stronger than any of us, but she's weak when it comes to you. Lucio, there's no point in fighting among ourselves. Please stay focused on the investigation. I must ask you, Cuthbert, why are you going to such lengths for my daughter? What do you mean? Surely you understand the gravity of the situation. By taking part in this trial, you risk drawing the ire of both the nobility and whoever this Empress of Discord is. What are you planning? Lucio, I'm not planning anything. Please, do you honestly expect me to believe that you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart? Well... Skilled Lord, you actually are doing it for that reason. Is this what all Heavensborn are like? I don't like thinking about it that way. I just can't stand by while I see injustice taking place. Even if you're standing in my way, I'll do whatever it takes to save Arya. I won't throw around such promises so loosely. I'm not. I will save her, Lucia. We got a little bit of new information. Not much, but a little. Very interested in how this is gonna go. Because I'm pretty sure the Eye Taker ain't even alive anymore. Are you ready? Yeah, well, let's do this. Alright, on 3. 1, 2, 3. What? There's no one here. Damn it. Well, I guess there's no point staying hidden anymore. Freeze, in the name of the Woven Guard! Now be careful, sir. They appear to have turned themselves invisible. They're not here, you idiot. Oh. He had the last piece we needed. None of the other suspects had the means nor the motive to do this. But he's probably long gone by now. It's over. I'm sorry. But you did everything you could, didn't you? But it wasn't good enough. What do we do now? There has to be someone who knows where he is. Actually, there is one person who might know where he is. What are you... Wait, you don't mean... At this point, it's the only option we have. I think we're gonna have to talk to Ruby. Are you sure? You two aren't exactly... I know, but I can't let my personal feelings get in the way of saving Arya. Never got a chance to look at this painting the last time we were here. It looks like some kind of crime lord. If I'm right, he was one of the previous Eye Takers. Back then, he had an even tighter grip on the criminal underbelly of Rathlone. People used to call him the Raging Storm. But isn't Eye Taker already a nickname? Look, sir, I don't come up with these names. It's a bookshelf filled with several fantasy fiction novels. There are a lot of books from a series that I've read. You can see the back alley entrance from this window. Yeah, I think I must have used this to get a good look at visitors. It's the table that the Eye Taker sat at the last time you were here. I was here. We were here. There's a thick layer of dust on it now. It looks like this fireplace hasn't been lit in a while. But I can still see the burnt remnants of some documents. There are several fantasy novels stacked on the desk here. The Eye Taker must be a fan of the genre.
Repario Arcanum!
Funny how this is the first time we've seen this room. Sir? I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm not currently accepting clients at... Cuthbert? Are you here to arrest me? No, of course not. Can we come in? Yes, of course. Hey, Celeste. Could you take the knights outside and do a perimeter of the building? What? But... Are you sure? I am. But what if something happens? Celeste, we're in a populated building in the capital city of Wyvengard. I think I'll be fine. No, but... Sid, sorry, you're right. I'll just... It's a painting of a noblewoman? Not quite. That's Elisa Tantivy. She was a common folk professor at the Imperial Academy, and this portrait was commissioned by one of her noble patrons. It really just shows off their wealth, though. It doesn't celebrate anything noteworthy. Why do you have this, then? I like her, and she's a good reminder that the common folk are just as competent as the nobility. It's a painting of some sort of pirate. He was a pirate that was famous for ruthlessly destroying the ships of anyone who stood in his way. During the Great Luminite War, the Wyvern Guard Crown hired him as a privateer to protect Oranax from the Theocracy's navy. He sailed in my hometown. During the Great War, Oranax was a vital foothold for Wyvern Guard's navy. Unfortunately, he was captured by the Theocracy and executed for his crimes. But I hear he gave them the runaround for 8 years before he was captured. An unusual choice of decor for your law office. Pirates are not exactly known for their lawfulness. I'd always wondered how you could afford these things. I guess I finally know now. It's a chair! It's a bookshelf! Books about lore and national history. It's starting to get dark outside. We don't have much time left. Is Celeste okay? She seems a bit on edge right now. Yeah, I think she's just been overprotective lately. I don't really blame her. I did almost die a few times in the last few days. What? It's a long story. And I don't think I'm even allowed to talk about it, especially not with you. I received your letters. Oh, did you... I haven't gotten the chance to read them yet. Of course. Whenever you're not busy. Miss Tamora, I trusted you. I know. I trusted you. I told you everything about myself. I put all of my hopes into you. And you lied to me. You told a criminal about the Eye of Horus. It took me years before I was comfortable enough to tell you about it, and you knew that. Why did you even adopt me? You could have just left me in Oranax and moved on with your life. Why would you pull me into this? I've started thinking about what my life could have been like. I could have done so many things. I would have been able to move on from losing my mother. But you adopted me. You made my entire life focused around that one moment. I had a son once. Before you, I mean. What? I wasn't always a city person. I used to live in an old farm town, just like McCoy's. My son and I used to run an old tea shop, just the two of us. Wait, you ran a tea shop? I know, it's ridiculous now that I think about it. But I was really happy back then. What happened? One night, a local nobleman had too much to drink at the local tavern. He barged into our shop and started destroying it with his magic. My son tried to stop him, but... the Inquisition swept that entire case under the rug, obviously. They said that the nobleman felt threatened and acted in self-defense. What was his name? It was Ryan. Oh. What did you do after Ryan died? I thought long and hard about what I wanted to do. I was hurt and blinded by rage, so I decided I would take justice into my own hands. Wait, you didn't... No, at the time I thought that killing him would be too easy. I broke into his manor and found every incriminating document I could find. I found everything, from records of illegitimate children to plots he was making against other noble houses. I released everything to the public. It absolutely ruined him. That's when I realised that there was a way to make them pay. You didn't have to harm or kill anyone. You could just beat them at their own game. You could use the rules and laws they made against them. Just like an attorney. Yeah, just like an attorney. When I realised that, I moved to the city and started studying law. I read every book there was to read about Wyvernguard's laws, and I learned how to work the system. I started representing clients who were clearly being framed by the nobility, but I really didn't care about saving them. I just wanted to see the look on each noble's face when I implicated them with irrefutable evidence. But it got more difficult. As I started punching higher, the nobles got smarter and more influential. I continued to acquit my clients, but the trials got closer and closer each time. But I was arrogant, and I felt invincible. I thought that no matter what happened, justice would prevail. And then your mother's case happened. I'd never met someone that remarkable before. She had this way of making you feel happy, no matter what kind of mood you're in. Yeah, I remember. But I failed her, and I failed you. Miss Tamura, I never once blamed you for what happened. I know, but that doesn't change the fact that I couldn't acquit her. She was executed because I didn't do enough. When you asked me to train you to be an attorney, I was blinded by my desperation. I felt so alone and helpless. I wanted someone, anyone, to carry this burden with me. So how pathetic must I have been, that I'd look for that in a grieving 10-year-old child. When I looked at you, all I wanted was to see myself. I saw a hurt and broken person who wanted revenge on the nobility. But I was too self-centered to realize that you were nothing like me. You care about people. You cared more about saving your clients than harming the nobility. I think I knew all along, but I refused to see it. Maybe you were right about me. What? Maybe I was just using you to make myself feel better. I took you from your home and forced you to dedicate your life to my dream. Maybe I never really cared. If I did care about you, I would never have pulled you into a life like this. I'm sorry. I can't begin to apologize for doing that to you. I've been thinking long and hard about this. I want to forgive you, Miss Tamura, but I don't know if I can. I don't blame you, but I want to try. Miss Tamura? No, don't call me that. What? If you can truly find it in your heart to forgive me, I want things to be different this time. I'm not your superior nor your mentor anymore. We're equals now. So call me by my first name. Oh, okay. Ruby? Right, I almost forgot the entire reason why I came here. What is it? I didn't just come here to reconcile. I actually need your help with something. Okay. I need you to help me speak to the Eye Taker. Tyrion, I know, considering the circumstances, it would probably strain your partnership with him even more. Tyrion. But if you just tell me where he is, I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't get traced back to you. Tyrion, the Eye Taker is dead. What? He died right after you convicted Beatrice. He was lynched by a mob of civilians. What? Everyone's saying it was some sort of retaliation from House Frigga. Didn't you notice that he didn't send anyone after you? But Eris said... By the way, is your father still... Oh, if you're worried about him, we've already had a conversation about you. I don't think he'll be accosting you anytime soon. Oh. Thank you? And why would Eris say that? Eris? Who's Eris? What? You've met her before? She's long black hair and she wears a black dress. I suppose she really likes black. But anyway, she's the Eye Taker's daughter. Tyrion, the Eye Taker's daughter has red hair. What? She was there when we spoke to him during Beatrice's trial. What are you talking about? She was never at that meeting. What? I'm sorry, Lucio, but whoever this patron is, they have full ownership of her mind. And they could have easily commanded her to forget signing the contract in the first place. That's probably why she can't remember that what happened during the massacre. No. Tyrion? What's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that? Warriors such as I must hone and develop our senses to survive in battle. Eventually we develop the ability to sense enemies and anticipate danger. I'd heard that such senses are heightened when in the presence of extraplanar entities. I thought those stories were complete hogwash until I met you and Beatrice Frigga's familiar. Tyrion, I've fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures even come close. I get this feeling. It's like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by. I'm terribly sorry. He's not usually like this. It's to be expected. I'm not sure why, but animals have always disliked me. Nice occupation change. Tyrion, talk to me. What's wrong? Ruby, I'm about to do something stupid. If I fall unconscious, I need you to call Celeste and tell her to contact Lord Asclepius or the Archduke. But what? You're a cellmater, wherever and whatever you are. By the Eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with Ruby Tamora. So, you finally figured it out, my dearest Tyrion. This entire time I've been chasing you. You have. It's been so entertaining watching you scramble around. You've been making contracts with people across Wyvengard. You took control of Arya and Beatrice. But why? Why would you want to do any of this? Oh, I can't possibly reveal all my secrets. This isn't the proper stage to have our final battle. But I suppose that you've come this far. So, how about I give you a little gift? Upon signing this contract, Ruby Tamora grants the Empress of Discord access to her memories. At any time, the Empress may view any and all of Tamora's memories, and may instantaneously change and alter her memories whenever she wishes. But why? How, when, and why was this signed? What was that? Ruby, Eris Illmater is a demon, and she's not just any demon, she's the Empress of Discord. And you signed a blood contract with her. That's why you can't remember anything about her. What? Tyrion, I swear on my life that I didn't know anything about this. I know. She probably tricked you into signing this. Just like she tricked Arya. Arya? What does the prosecutor have to do with this? Come on, you two. I know things are kinda tense, but there's no need to... What are you holding? Is that a blood contract? Celeste, Eris is the Empress of Discord. But what? It was her the entire time. She tricked Arya into signing a blood contract with her, and she probably controlled her and Beatrice to orchestrate the entire massacre. What? Tyrion, this is crazy. I know I was scared of her that one time, but how could Eris be a demon? She looks nothing like Muranath. I know how unbelievable it is, but I used my divine edict with her name. That wouldn't have worked unless she was a demon. Yeah, I guess I can't disagree with that. I'll need to contact the Grand General immediately. Ugh, but if she's really a demon, is it even possible to arrest her? I need to speak with the Scaled, the Archduke, about this. Thank you, Ruby. You've helped us more than you could ever know. Yes, of course. Celeste, let's meet up with everyone. We need to discuss our next course of action. Right. Tyrion, have you been using the Eye of Horus lately? Yeah. I can't say much about what I'm doing right now, but I am in the middle of a case. It's just that... What's wrong? Never mind. I don't think it's my place to say anything. I think I'm just being my usual paranoid self. I'm not the one with the ability to read minds anyway. So if you're not seeing it, it's probably nothing. Okay. I know you can't tell me what it is you're doing, and I have no idea what could possibly involve the King's Guard, Steerwind, and the Empress of Discord. But just stay safe, okay? You're the only family I have left. I will. I promise. Thank you. We're in the end game now. Is something wrong, Commander? Don't play dumb with me. They told me what you really are. What's your game, demon? Why would you just deliver yourself to our doorstep? Oh, I put far too much work into this story to miss the final act. I can't wait to see how this ends. You killed 3 people and enslaved an innocent girl. Is this all some kind of game to you? That's exactly what this is to me. I'll admit, looking back, it does feel a bit derivative. But I think I've done enough to differentiate myself from those that came before. It's a shame about the timing of it all, though. You're goddamn insane! That took you long enough to notice. I guess the oafish Inquisition commander does have some observational skills after all. Whatever. You just better not try anything. You know I can't lie, so I'll reassure you. I promise I won't harm anyone while I'm in this prison. Ugh. We're finally approaching the climax, Tyrion. No more deductions. No more talking. No more god-awful teasing when we both know who was really behind this. It's just me and you,